Hi there, Rob from Dingo Sandbags. So quite often I get the question, what sand do you put in your sandbag? And it's a very good question because some people do put the wrong sand in and it turns out to be a bit of a nightmare when using the sandbag. So let's talk about that. So first and foremost, the sand that you should be using is dry play sand. Now that can come in various names, but if you go to your hardware store, you'll probably see it as washed sand. In this case, I've got washed Sydney sand. So that's really important because what the washing process does is washes out all the dirt and clay compounds. There are sands that you get that still has that dirt and clay compound in it for the reasons why they want it. But what that does is two things. One, the clay holds the moisture for longer, which you don't want. And two, which is the worst part, is the clay and dirt will end up pulverizing into a dust. And that dust is so fine that it ends up seeping out of the stitch holes in the bag and creates this puff of dust, you know, when you drop or use the bag, which is really off-putting. Second substance I've heard of people using is gravel. I've seen a bag and I've tried a bag with gravel in it. It's just completely uncomfortable. And it's not really ideal, and again that will also pulverize into a dust eventually that will seep out the stitch holes in the bag, and it also shorten the life of your bag. Finally, some people have used rice. Now rice is a really good substance to use. You just have to account for the fact that rice weighs less than sand, so if you wanted a bag that weighs 20 kilograms, you might need to step up the size of your bag if you're going to use rice. Sand is really cheap. For example, this bag of Sydney wash sand from Maroubra Sand and Cement only cost me $5.50 per 20 kilograms bag. At Bunnings it's usually about $7 a bag, and if you're getting it by the bulk load, for example you go to a Landscape Supplies and you get a trailer load, you can get a ton for $50 to $70. So it's really cheap, and that's it. Now I just want to quickly show you, I've got from the Maroubra Sand and Cement, they gave me a sample of the sand that has clay additive in it, and I'll just show you a comparison of that to washed sand. So with washed sand, that's it here, and as you can see it kind of holds its consistency once it's dry, and it just you know, falls through your fingers no problem. Clay will do that, but it ends up in little chunks like that where the clay has glued the sand together a little bit, and it's a lot finer. It is really, when you break it up, the particles are a lot finer, and like I said, it even gets finer as it pulverizes into a dust. So I hope that clears up about what sand to use. Washed sand is best.